In today's news, BV Islander Dane Hunter recounts capture by Israeli Navy. Premier Wheatley says firearm ownership for business owners not so simple. Public service employees honored for years of dedication, and final prep underway for October 24th to 28th visit from floating book fair. These and more stories when To It For News returns.
We mash the gas, them bite the dust. We set the speed while they gathering rust. Inside we hard BVI come first. So please don't be fooled, cause they not like us. Once we mash the gas, them bite the dust. Cause we always fast and we always fuss. If you want real speed, you know who to trust. Somebody better tell them they're not like who? They're not like us. CCT fast, like CCT fast, like CCT just. Generosity, love, the community bad, like CCT fast with the 5G. Cause BVI is we.
At Higher BVI, we're not just about business. We're about empowering lives, and that is because we aspire to inspire. By choosing us, you're supporting a company that believes in equal opportunities, diversity, and community growth. Our mission goes beyond profit. It's about providing HR solutions, fostering talent, and leaving a positive impact. Join us in building a better future, a better BVI. Choose Higher BVI, where your support isn't just a transaction, it's a transformation. Together, we're changing lives in these beautiful Virgin Islands.
Welcome to the Wednesday, October 15th edition of To It For News. I am Jaco Wooding Donovan, bringing you the latest out of the British Virgin Islands. Thank you so much for joining us. Dane Hunter has described a tense, hours-long confrontation with Israeli naval forces in international waters. After being aboard the flotilla, offering a rare first-hand account of the interception that ended the flotilla's attempt to deliver humanitarian aid to Gaza. More in this report. British Virgin Islander Dane Hunter announced his return from Israeli prison last week after being part of the Global Samud Flotilla, a humanitarian mission bound for Gaza. Speaking with To It For Media, Hunter described in vivid detail the hours-long interception by Israeli naval forces that led to the flotilla's capture in international waters and the subsequent detention of his crew. Hunter reflected on the dramatic nighttime encounter that he says began approximately 120 nautical miles from Gaza's coast, well outside Israeli territorial waters. According to Hunter, the Israeli Navy first made contact via VHF radio, Channel 16, warning the flotilla that it would be intercepted for, quote, interfering in a military operation and attempting to breach the blockade on Gaza. The flotilla responded by citing Article 19 of the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, which protects the right of humanitarian missions to travel unobstructed, particularly when delivering aid to civilians. Despite this, Israeli forces moved to intercept the flotilla's 45 vessels in a large-scale operation involving military ships, high-pressure water cannon boats, electronic disruption equipment, and even a submarine.
They had a more specialized boarding craft, just with taller walls and a lot of technical gear on top of it. And anytime that boat was coming by, you would immediately lose all of your comms, you would lose the Starlink, and even instruments on board the boat would start going haywire. So for a lot of the interception, which lasted hours because there were so many of us, we had about 45 boats, I believe, we had to rely just on like handheld magnetic compasses because we could no longer trust what our instruments were telling us. Interception started evening, probably about 6 p.m. UTC, and they didn't get our last boat until the next morning, approximately, I think it was like 10 a.m. UTC, and that boat was able to reach about 23 nautical miles off the shores of Gaza.
Crew members were eventually restrained and taken to an Israeli port. Hunter described a disorganized processing operation with captured crews held on hot concrete for hours before formal processing began. Israel's National Security Minister, Itamar Ben-Gvir, addressed the group.
He basically gave a lecture calling all of us terrorists, saying that we're there to kill Jewish babies. A lot of projection. We all started chanting Free Palestine, which they did not like. So they came around, cuffed everybody, made the cuffs as tight as possible. And it was kind of one of the first times that, while being incarcerated, we were seeing collective punishment. So going through processing, they tossed a lot of our stuff just indiscriminately. They would go through our bags, just kind of throwing away whatever they decided on.
Hunter said they were not given due process, as they were supposed to be given the option of signing an agreement stating that they entered Israel illegally, agree to self-deport, then get their own plane ticket and be on their way. Instead, they were subject to imprisonment and humiliation. As for the ceasefire now in place, Hunter expressed very little hope in its success, noting that from his experience and from what Israel has shown, they have no intent of seeing Palestinians live on their own land. Meanwhile, on a recent episode of Virgin Islands Voice, Premier Wheatley noted that he understands the argument for personal firearms for business owners, given recent criminal activities. But the United Kingdom's stance on the matter makes the process challenging. More in this report. Premier Dr. Natalia Wheatley addressed questions from a caller on whether or not business owners should own personal firearms, emphasizing the complexities involved. Dr. Wheatley noted that security is the responsibility of the government and that the United Kingdom, which oversees certain aspects of governance in the territory, opposes individual firearm ownership.
I think it's a good debate, but the person who asked the question, I would let them know that internal security is a matter that presently falls under the governor. And the United Kingdom's position, well-publicized position, is that they don't encourage gun ownership outside of the law enforcement agencies. Okay. Even the law enforcement agencies, they generally don't carry around guns with them. They have a armed response unit that would respond to incidents.
He explained that because of this position, the process for obtaining a firearm is neither simple nor straightforward, and business owners seeking personal firearms must navigate a strict regulatory framework.
There's an argument to be made, but persons should understand that the United Kingdom is responsible for that, and they have a well-publicized position, and it's unlikely that business owners will have access to weapons. Of course, we have a process where persons can apply for licenses, but it's been very difficult for persons to get licenses because of that position. Understood. Of the United Kingdom.
However, he noted at this time that it is not impossible, as some business owners do own personal firearms. Meanwhile, Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Deputy Governor, Charlene Dabrio-Letsam, praised public service employees for their dedication and sacrifice, noting that their efforts continue to make a difference across the territory. Speaking at the recent employee recognition ceremony for public officers, She reminded attendees that the work is not finished and encouraged officers to keep shining their light to show the good of the public service.
Public service does not often come with fanfare. It rarely makes headlines for the good days, but its impact is felt in every classroom that runs smoothly, in every community that feels safe, and in every citizen who can trust that their government is working for them. You are the heartbeat of our public service, the invisible force that keeps our territory moving forward. Public service asks much of us. It asks for patience because progress can be slow. It asks for strength because challenges can be great. It asks for compassion because the work touches lives. And above all, it asks for belief. Belief that what we do matters. Belief that every task, no matter how small, contributes to something larger than ourselves. Each of you has carried that belief with courage and conviction. You have seen change and you've been part of it. You have weathered storms both literally and figuratively.
Director of Human Resources, Kara Christopher, also commended the public officers, noting that the future of the territory depends on the tone and example set by the public service. She expressed her gratitude to all employees for their hard work and commitment.
The Department of Human Resources sees you, not just as officers filling positions, but as individuals who embodies the true value of a public servant. You are mentors to new officers. You are carriers of institutional knowledge and ambassadors of what it truly means to serve the Virgin Islands. And as we reflect on your years of service, let us also look to the future. The public service continues to transform, and this transformation really depends on you, our experienced officers, to share your knowledge, to model professionalism, and to shape the next generation of public officers. Your work sets the tone for what good service looks like. You remind us that service is not just about performing tasks, it's about really making a difference. It is about ensuring that every person who interacts with the government feels seen, respected, and truly supported.
During the ceremony, employees were honored for their long service, receiving awards for 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30 years in the public service. Up next, ECLAC calls for productive transformation and boost to growth in the region, and Jamaica highlights maritime achievements and commitment to ocean governance. These and more stories after a word from our sponsors.
Just give me my service. Yeah. Just give me my service. Just give me my service.
Make the switch to CCT and get connected today. Unlimited talk, text, and data. Visit any CCT store or call us at 444-4444. CCT, Life Unlimited.
Life is unpredictable, and when a storm is coming, having a plan can make all the difference.
We need a plan in case of a hurricane. Everyone, let's work together on this.
This is where we go in case if we need to evacuate. This is safe away from flood zones.
I will use this room as our secure space if we have to stay home.
Don't forget to save our local contacts and also our off-island contacts.
Right, and we need to have a plan for our pets too. They can't go to shelters, so we need a safe place for them.
In case we get separated, we should have a meeting spot. How about the community center?
That's good, and we can leave a note there too.
I feel safe knowing we have a plan.
With a plan, you're not just preparing for the worst, you're taking control of the situation. A message from the Department of Disaster Management and 284 Media.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. The Premier's office has confirmed final preparations are underway for the official visit of the MV Logos Hope, the world's largest floating book fair, which is scheduled to dock in the Virgin Islands from October 24th to 28th, 2025. According to Deputy Secretary Dr. Lavon Shalwell Brewery, the visit is the result of a multi-agency effort.
The committee which spearheads this particular visit consists of a number of organizations, agencies such as BVI Tourist Board, BVI Ports Authority, Immigration, members of the Tortola Pay Park, Customs, Immigration, the protocol unit within the Premier's office, as well as Mr. Kellyan, a representative of Motor Vessel Logos Hope. We've been having a series of meetings to prepare for this visit. We've just completed a final meeting and tidied up a number of logistics in order to accommodate the visit and allow persons from our community to be able to board the ship and visit the book fair.
Project Manager Kalyan Arisalia from the MV Logos Hope shared his team's excitement ahead of its inaugural visit to the British Virgin Islands, noting that this comes amid an already year-long voyage across the Caribbean region.
We are a vibrant international community of 300 volunteers from 60 different nationalities. I myself am from India, and we are going to bring you 5,000 titles of books, 800,000 total in the book hold. So if you're a book lover, you're in for a treat. Please do come with your friends and your families from the 24th of October to the 28th of October to Tortola Pier Park, and you will have a blessed experience. We have been in the Caribbean for more than a year now. Starting in Barbados, we have been to wonderful islands such as St. Lucia, St. Vincent, the ABC Islands, and latestly in the Bahamas. The ship will be sailing from Nassau on the 19th of October. And having experienced all these beautiful cultures and countries, we are now heading towards the British Virgin Islands for its first inaugural visit in the island.
A welcome ceremony is planned for October 23rd at 10 a.m., where cultural performances will be featured. In addition to open browsing times for the public, special arrangements are being made for schools, nonprofit organizations, and other groups to visit the ship. Tourism and cultural agencies are collaborating on events both on and off the vessel, including a fundraising concert organized by the Ministry of Education. Cheryl Foy, Assistant Secretary in the Premier's office, said that efforts are underway to engage NPOs.
We're excited about the ship coming. We're expecting many of the public to come and view the ship and come on board the ship and be there for the extravaganza as well. The non-profit organizations, you're going to get an email from me giving you all the details, what is expected of you, what you're required to be on board the ship. So look out for that email, and I am looking forward to hearing from you and great responses.
Dr. Chalwell Brewery said that detailed flyers with boarding times, identification requirements, and visitor protocols will be distributed across all government pages.
We have been receiving a number of calls from the public as to the times and the schedules for visiting the ship. We are expecting to send out a flyer with all the pertinent information which you will need and what you will be required to have on you for visiting the ship. So please look out for this flyer and the pertinent information which you will be required to know in order to be able to visit the ship.
Public boarding will include a $2 fee. In regional news, the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean warns that the region remains stuck in a cycle of low growth and weak productivity urging governments to modernize their development policies and harness science, technology, and innovation to drive greener and more inclusive economic transformation. Details in this report. Latin America and the Caribbean remain trapped in a cycle of low growth driven by stagnating or declining productivity over the past decade. That's according to the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean. In its panorama of productive development policies in Latin America and the Caribbean 2025 report, ECLAC emphasized the need for a profound productive transformation to break this pattern. The organization is urging countries to scale up and modernize their productive development policies, focusing on improving productivity as the region's core structural challenge while harnessing science, technology, and innovation as key drivers of transformation. The report also highlights the importance of stronger coordination through cluster initiatives and governance mechanisms to mobilize key actors and amplify impact. At the same time, environmental sustainability and social inclusion must be integrated into development strategies, ensuring that growth is both green and inclusive. ECLAC argues that this comprehensive approach provides a clear roadmap towards sustained, equitable growth while advancing progress towards sustainable development goals. Meanwhile, Jamaica has formally submitted its bid for re-election to Category C of the International Maritime Organization Council, seeking to retain the seat it has held since 2007 and ensure that Caribbean and small island voices remain represented in global maritime decision-making. More in this report. Jamaica has officially submitted its candidature for re-election to Category C of the International Maritime Organization Council, with elections set to take place in December 2025. According to the Jamaica Information Service, the announcement was made by Undersecretary for the Foreign Trade Division in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and Jamaica's ambassador to CARICOM, Esmond Reid, during the Maritime Authority of Jamaica illuminating ceremony and cocktail reception on September 25th at the Ministry in downtown Kingston to mark World Maritime Day 2025. The IMO, headquartered in London, is a specialized United Nations agency responsible for regulating international shipping. It plays a crucial role in ensuring the safety, security, and environmental performance of global shipping, which carries more than 80% of the world's trade by volume. The IMO Council is the organization's executive organ and is responsible for supervising its work between sessions of the Assembly. Category C of the Council is open to states with special interest in maritime transport or navigation. Ambassador Reid said Jamaica is seeking the support of IMO member states to retain its seat on the Council, which it has held since 2007. Jamaica's continued participation in the IMO Council would ensure that Caribbean and small island perspectives remain at the table as the global community addresses maritime security, shipping emissions, and ocean protection. In other news, the government of Grenada has confirmed it is reviewing a request from the United States for a temporary installation of radar equipment and technical personnel at the Maurice Bishop International Airport. According to Grenada's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development, the request is currently under joint technical and legal review by the Ministries of National Security, Legal Affairs, and Foreign Affairs. The Grenada Airports Authority and other relevant agencies are also part of the consultation process. Authorities stress that the review will follow established national procedures and no decision will be made until all assessments are complete. The government said that any action taken will prioritize Grenada's sovereignty, public safety, and national interests, including the protection of its tourism sector and economic well-being. Up next, rain cancels Saturday games, but Sunday sees big results in BVIFA Men's League, and forecasters expect rain, possible thunder overnight. These when 24 News returns.
My name's Henry Bosch. I work for PPG. I'm here to explain to you the use of the Deltron NXT paint line and EnviroBase high performance, one being solvent-borne and the next being waterborne. The difference is that one is totally manufactured with resins and thinners and all the good stuff that solvents bring versus our new technology, which is waterborne, which is 100% latex. What we're gonna do is that we reduce the solvent-borne with a DT885, which is a mid-temp reducer, and the waterborne uses T494, which is a waterborne reducer. We will today be using either DCU 2042, which is a speed clear, or we will be using DCU 2021, which is a classic. We have here our equipment. We have 8-ounce measuring cups, and we also have our 32-ounce mixing cup. We will also have with us our Venturi. This is a blower for us to dry the waterborne paint, which speeds up the process. The good thing about waterborne paint is that as soon as it evaporates, you're good to go. So now Gilligan will dilute the waterborne paint with the waterborne reducer. We made 8 ounces, that would be 1.6 ounce. It always has to be properly mixed until we get an even mixture within the paint mixing cup. So when we spray, we don't see uneven coats of color. So right now we're filling our paint gun with 8 ounces of diluted paint. We're gonna see how far 8 ounces will take us. Waterborne paint seems to look blotchy on your first coat. Don't pay no mind to that. Don't try to achieve full coverage on your first spray. Excellent. Let it dry. So the process in waterborne is 2 even coats, and then we have what we call a dust coat. Well, now we're gonna have Mr. Brown apply the first coat of clear on his waterborne panel. We'll let it flash off, and then he'll come back and coat it with his second coat to finish it off. As you had seen in the previous shots, we had a little blotchiness, and you'll see some patches. That's all due on purpose to sandpaper to prove that with EnviroBase high performance, all technicians, the body work has to end at 800 grit or plus. Well, EnviroBase is like, we're trying to shift everyone into that slowly but surely. The entire west coast of the United States and all of Canada has already been on waterborne for the past 10 years. And now soon it'll be the eastern seaboard, which covers the Caribbean. So when that happens, we'll all be affected. So it's best to start now, start trying and applying waterborne, because eventually everyone will be on it. And referring to technicians, it's less harmful because it doesn't have all the toxic chemicals that solvent-borne paints do.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. In sports, the BVI Men's National League resumed this past weekend, though not without disruption. Heavy rains forced the cancellation of all Saturday games, but teams returned to the field on Sunday, with 3 matches played across Virgin Gorda and Tortola. In Virgin Gorda, Lionheart FC delivered a commanding performance, overwhelming Avengers FC with a 10-0 win. Also in Virgin Gorda, the match between Positive FC and One Love FC did not take place, as Positive FC forfeited, handing One Love a default victory. On Tortola, Islanders FC faced off against Walules FC at the A.O. Shirley grounds. Islanders FC emerged with a narrow win with a score of 2-1. In weather, the local weather forecast for the British Virgin Islands remains partly cloudy, with a moderate 40% chance of showers as a tropical wave approaches the area. Conditions are expected to become more unsettled into tonight, with increasingly cloudy skies, showers, and a 40% chance of thunderstorms. Winds will blow from the south at 9 to 22 kilometers per hour, and seas will range from 0.9 to 1.2 meters. Temperatures are forecast to reach a high of 30 degrees Celsius and a low of 22 degrees Celsius. Sunrise tomorrow is at 6:12 a.m. And that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for news updates at 284media.com, like us on Facebook at 284media, and 284BVI on Instagram and X, formerly Twitter. I am Jacques Wooding Donovan, and I will see you again tomorrow, so have yourself a safe and enjoyable evening. Goodbye.